Welcome to Coffee Break with Rachel V. Hill, presented by Superbook Sports. Taking a daily look at the biggest stories in Denver sports and interacting live with you, the Coffee Break fam. So sit back, relax, grab a cup of joe, and enjoy your coffee break. Here's your host, Rachel V. Hill.
It's Tuesday. I'm back from Hawaii, and just like school, we start to see new faces back in. And I would like to welcome Richie Carney to the Coffee Break table this morning with us. How are you?
I'm great. I'm excited to be here.
Let's do it. Training camp obviously getting underway. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting caught back up because when you're gone for a week, there's gonna be a bunch of little things that add up.
Yeah, there's been a lot.
And I've watched the preseason game. I have some thoughts, and I feel like it's very different than what a lot of other people are doing. But first, let's get to you. I want you to introduce yourself to the Coffee Break family. Tell us what you do, who you are here at the Fan, how this all works.
Okay, yeah. Well, as Rachel mentioned, and as you can see on that nice little thing right below the screen there, my name is Richie Carney.
Give him a follow on Twitter or X, whatever it's called nowadays.
I'm always going to call it Twitter.
Thank you.
And they're always going to be tweets.
Yeah, amen to that.
I'm the assistant program director for Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. And I'm like Dwight Schrute around the office. I feel like I'm not in charge, but I'm like just below it. And so I do a lot of the behind the scenes stuff.
Okay, so how old are you? Where are you from? We need all the details. I guess if you don't want to say your age, some people get weird about that.
I'm 30.
Age.
I grew up in Parker, Colorado, so just a little bit south of here. From California originally.
Where'd you go to school?
On the beach. No, I went to Chaparral High School.
Okay, college.
Michigan State. So I have the rare contradiction of being a Wolverine in high school and a Spartan in college, which are two rivals
for Michigan and Michigan
I keep that
State.
On the down low. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. Give me like 3 random facts about yourself real quick. Like long walks on the beach.
Yeah,
that works.
I have swam with sharks.
Ooh, same.
I survived a hurricane.
I have not done that, but I'm happy you did.
And I've always wanted to visit Europe, but I've never been.
Oh, I want to go to Europe too. You probably have heard also Richie used to be the producer of The Drive, so he was always on there. And of course, they call him Rooftop Richie because he's always doing most of the thing. Hey-o! Although he didn't get into Taylor Swift, but we can have that conversation for another time.
I tried to be somebody's James Dean daydream, and it just didn't work.
Didn't work. That's okay. Maybe next time T Swift comes into town. Richie, give me your thoughts. Russell Wilson was the big conversation, of course, on Friday's preseason game. What are your thoughts?
You know, it's conflicting because I think a lot of the reasons why you were frustrated about Russell Wilson last year, you could have walked away from that preseason game feeling a lot of those same things. But I actually do think it's different. One, I think it's pretty clear Sean Payton as an offensive mind is making a difference.
Yep.
They're way more organized. The concept is better. It fits Russ better. And I think he's more comfortable in it. He's still going to struggle with some of these things that we've seen. I think he still isn't super comfortable throwing over the middle of the field, holding on to the ball too long and all that. But I think he made some good throws. If you look at his numbers on a box score, it doesn't look incredibly impressive, but numbers can kind of say whatever you want them to say. So you factor in the fact that he was the most pressured quarterback in week 1 of the preseason across all the games.
Poor Russell
pressured
Wilson.
on 64% of his dropbacks. And that to me is why I'm still in the belief that Russell Wilson is going to be better this year. To what degree he's better, I don't know. But that offensive line, at least the way that they looked in that preseason game, could make Russell's life a living hell. They have the potential for him to be running around for his life and not setting him up to succeed to the degree that we'll need him to.
What's interesting about the offensive line is despite them bulking it up, they're still struggling like a ton, and preseason is always one of those really hard things because it's like, oh, well, your defense looks really good then, right? If they're giving your offense a really hard time, well, you got a great defense. Defense wins championships, ladies and gentlemen, but you still need to have a quarterback that can be safe and doesn't get hurt. And the offensive line just looks brutal.
You did. And you add in the fact that the team they were playing, the Arizona Cardinals are projected by almost everyone to be the worst team in the NFL. And they have injuries. Yep. And they were up front that they're not playing their starters a lot. They're not doing the Sean Payton approach where the starters played almost a full first half.
Yep.
So the offensive line looked bad against a team who, even when their starters are going to be out there, are projected to be the worst team in the NFL, and they weren't even playing their starters. That's like as scary as you can get.
I have been saying for the entire training camp, and I'm trying to be really positive about the offensive line, but I was like, it just looks dysfunctional. Like, I don't know how else to explain
Yep.
it. They just don't look like they're clicking despite, oh, we've been working all together and yada, yada, yada. I don't know about this offensive line.
Yeah. Well,
I can't get behind it.
What did you see anything that was positive? Because I walked away with, I mean, it's easy to walk away with negatives as media members and as fans. It's easy to look at something and critique it and point out what went wrong. But like, did you see anything that made it optimistic?
I mean, they like slightly got better the longer that they played. So you did see a little bit of the chemistry come into like play. But I mean, Quinn Miners kind of was just like, we have to improve in every area because Russell Wilson is not that young 23-year-old quarterback anymore either. Like, if he's running around, he's going to get hurt. And that's where the main problem lies. My fiance's family is Chiefs fans. And I'm always like, you better pray that Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, right. Well, that's a thing. Everyone loves Patrick Mahomes. You want to hate him because he's a really good quarterback, but he's a fantastic person. But I'm like, you guys better pray Patrick Mahomes never gets hurt, because if he does, you guys are completely screwed. And not that Russell Wilson is on the same tier as Patrick Mahomes, but if he gets hurt, it's not like I have a whole lot of trust in Ben DiNucci.
Yeah, listen, I think Stidham looked okay. I thought Ben DiNucci made some nice throws, but again, everything comes with context. So it's like Ben DiNucci was making some nice throws, and the immediate thing is like, well, he's playing against the fourth string defense and guys that are going to be working at Walmart the next week, and but also his teammates are theoretically like the third string and fourth string guys. So the competition level was equal. I am optimistic about Ben DiNucci, mainly just because I love his last name. He's got the us Italians got to stick together.
Yeah, you guys have that beautiful skin. I'm over here still repping my tan lines. They're awful.
It's good. Be a trendsetter, not a follower.
I'm trying to. Oh, exactly.
Yes.
I also want to go on to look at Jerry Jeudy, because of course he was another big name that I felt like was just trending all over Twitter because he has the dropped passes, but then at times he does look good. So how are you feeling about the connection between what a lot of people are calling wide receiver number 1 and Russell Wilson?
I was very critical on Jerry. I'm a cynic at heart, Rachel. I really am. I feel like it's in my nature just in general, but this Broncos team, with as bad as they've been for as long as they've been, has hardened me of like resolve and hope. And so like I was very critical of Jerry Jeudy, who, let's not forget, was touted as the highest skilled wide receiver in the best wide receiver draft class of all time that year. That was what they were saying. Better than Justin Jefferson, better than CeeDee Lamb, better than all these guys, better than Henry Ruggs, who, has gone a different way.
I was going to say, I just saw that he got sentenced.
Yeah. But Jerry Jeudy was widely considered the cream of that crop.
Yep.
And so I was very disappointed in the way he looked last year. I said there's absolutely no reason that with Russell Wilson at quarterback, that Jerry Jeudy shouldn't be Tyler Lockett.
Ooh,
a deep ball threat who runs routes down the field, who has a good catching ability.
Gets space, great.
Yes. And Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett made magic happen in Seattle for years before DK Metcalf was ever in the picture. So that was the bar that I set. You can call it lofty because Lockett's numbers were pretty impressive, but that's what I set, and I was disappointed by it. I will say, I think, again, and I'll give the credit to Sean Payton with the scheme and the offense. I think that this is going to be a bounce back, if you can call it that, year for Jerry Jeudy. We still saw the drops come up in that preseason game. He dropped a crucial, easy, wide open pass in the red zone on 3rd and 3 for a first down. But then what happened the next play? On 4th and 3, touchdown pass on a beautiful route, beautiful pass, beautiful catch. So it's that's the duality of Jeudy. So like that drop thing, it's still going to be there in the regular season. There's going to be a Monday or a Tuesday or a Friday, a day after a game, where we come in and we're going to be like, Jerry Jeudy and these.
What the heck?
Okay. But there's also we're going to see more wow plays from him, in my opinion, than we did last year. This
is kind of funny, but I almost took it as a positive because it just looked like Jerry was just assuming he was going to catch it and run it in for the touchdown, which gives me a little bit of confidence of like, he feels that connected to Russell Wilson that he's just going to easily catch these balls and be able to go for it. Now, don't get ahead of yourself too much, right? You got to be able to do the basics and catch a football, but it did give me a little bit of like, all right.
I was encouraged by the fact that not only did Sean Payton have the aggressiveness to go for it on the floor. I know it's preseason and whatever, but I could see that happening in a regular season. Who I know Sean Payton to be as a coach and what 100%. We've seen. So I was encouraged, that Sean Payton was like, no, we're not going to settle for 3 points here. We're going to score a touchdown. And that he called the pass play, and Jerry was the number 1 read on that next play, and Russell trusted him to do that. 100%. That is the sign offensively of a team that has been so disorganized, getting more cohesive and getting better.
Mark and Mike this morning were talking about the process versus the results. And of course, they're talking about QB number 1, Russell Wilson, and how people wanted to see the results because he's getting paid so much money, like screw the process, whatever. But with Sean Payton coming in, are you just saying, enjoy this process, enjoy even if they struggle a little bit, but like you're eventually going to see results? Sean Payton's a very, very good head coach.
I believe in that line of thinking more now than I have in any year since the Super Bowl, because this is the first time that they've hired a seasoned veteran experienced head coach. And even among the tier of seasoned experienced veteran head coaches, Sean Payton's at the top of that tier.
Yeah.
He has been considered one of the best coaches, most respected coaches in the NFL in that upper echelon. So this isn't bringing in Vance Joseph as a head coach the first time where it just felt like he was in way over his head and he wasn't set up to succeed because the front office seemed very dysfunctional and all of that. This wasn't bringing in Nathaniel Hackett, Vic Fangio, guys that maybe have been in the NFL for a long time but have never had that role. Sean Payton has done the job he's currently doing at the highest level. And so, yes, I believe that can anyone come in and just turn a team that's it's had the worst stretch of Super Bowl for a worst stretch of football for a Super Bowl winning team ever in the NFL? Can he just make all that go away like that? Probably not. But I think that you will see an incremental improvement in the Broncos. Does it mean they'll win 9 games and break the losing season streak? I don't think so. I could easily see them being a 7, maybe an 8-win team,
which is the worst place to be for Russell
You're
Wilson.
in purgatory. And that's, again, if you're talking glass half full, glass half empty, it is purgatory. Because if you're Russell Wilson, it's like you brought him here to win, and now you don't think you can win big with him, and you're too late in the draft to draft a high quarterback without trading. But they only won 5 games last year, Rachel. So if they win 8 games this year, that's a more than 50% improvement. So if you were to track that out, like could you be sold on the idea, you personally, of they won 5 games last year, they win 7 or 8 games this year, and they win 11 games next year?
I mean,
if it was that steady of an improvement, they're an 11-win team 2 years from now. Would you take the growing pains? Or would you say we got to blow it up and move on, including getting rid of Russ and all that?
Oh, that's such a hard question because you want to see results. It's the NFL. You're making so much money. There's so much that goes into it. But I also know you're going to have those exact same growing pains with a probably young quarterback.
It's a roll of the dice.
And so, yeah, that's a really tough question. If I had to say right now, I'm saying roll the dice with a younger quarterback because eventually Russ isn't going to be able to do it. Russ is only getting older.
Okay.
So if you have to roll the dice one way or another, roll the dice on a younger QB.
Okay. All right. Well, then, if I may,
absolutely,
we'll play this a little further. So let's say that we go down that route. If they're going to win, is 7 or 8 games a reasonable prediction?
Yeah.
Okay, so that puts them drafting like maybe 14th or 15th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is not good
So
either.
you're nowhere close to getting the Caleb Williams, the
This
Drake
is why
Mays.
it's the worst thing.
So let's hypothetically say they had to get up to 3 to get a quarterback. That's what we want to do. And mind you, they have avoided drafting a quarterback like the plague for their entire existence.
Are you saying trade or are you saying just lose games?
They're going to have to trade up because tanking in the NFL doesn't really exist.
True.
Not in its true form.
So are you trading Pat Surtain?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask you. If you're to go the route that you want to go and roll the dice with a young quarterback, you're going to have to fire sale this team. So is Justin Simmons on the block at the deadline as one of the best safeties in the league? Are you going to, on draft day, are you willing to package Pat Surtain, couple first-round picks maybe, and a second-round pick to try to move up and do that? Like, if you do that, which, by the way, I've advocated for them very strongly to do before they got Russell Wilson, that is the ultimate. You have to bite your tongue and get ready for you have to get ready for some Justin Fields, rookie years where they're going to win a couple of games and that's it, but the hope is that if you're assuming Sean Payton's going to stick around for this, that he can develop and train a young quarterback, assuming he's willing to do that at this stage in his career, and go that route. I'm not ready to go there yet, but I'll tell you this. If they're 2-6 at the bye,
see ya.
I'm
Goodbye,
out.
everybody.
But I'm me, the cynic. I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that Russell can be the quarterback that I loved watching in Seattle, and that Sean Payton can fix so many things about this team that they haven't fixed yet.
Don't get me wrong. I'm 100% with you. And I know the fans of Coffee Break, I know Bronco fans are with you too. All we want to do is see them succeed. Tomorrow, we'll be back 10:30 a.m. with another episode of Coffee Break, you guys. There's training camp. We got another preseason game at the end of the week. Lots and lots to cover. Richie and I will both be out at training camp here in just a little bit too, and we will talk to you guys later.
Can't
Bye,
wait.
everybody.